everyone. So I get asked a lot of questions, and I share resources a lot. That's one of the big things that I do. One of the things that I get sent often enough is a couple different services when people are looking for HRT. And that seems really cool, right? It's a service, they handle, all of your HRT needs. There's usually some claim about, trans doctors or, all their staff is trans or something like that, or they're owned by trans people, something of that nature. And that would be really, really cool. Except it also looks really sus. And so the thing to watch out here for is that when we're all going through, trying to find HRT, trying to find, the gender affirming stuff for us, I think it's very easy for us to feel very desperate, or very concerned or very afraid, which there are some pitfalls to watch out for, don't get me wrong. So Jess, I want you to pull up this website for me. This is the latest one I got. I've seen a few in the past, and I usually try and go through them a little bit, So going through it, here's the healthcare, affirming services. If you click on view our services, I think we can try and find what their subscription looks like. I know it's a subscription because I went through it for a half an hour trying to figure that out. But that's one of the hard parts, is that I can hardly even get through here to find what this is actually going to cost. Okay.
So let's say you are trying to get estrogen. So you guys can't see it on your side. Our folks estrogen membership designed for trans, non-binary, and intersex people includes one-to-one HRT telehealth visits, unlimited messaging with your care team, medications and supplies shipped straight to your door, automated prescription refill and lab reminders, no insurance necessary, priced like a copay, letters for name change and or gender marker change, and any additional folks product plan, HSA, FSA eligible. So it doesn't sound too bad so far.
Oh, good. Oh, look at that. We found this. This is much sooner. It took us a lot longer to find it.
So newly starting, $119 a month. Maintenance is $59 a month.
So we're looking at this, and the thing is at that much per month, what happens on the months where you don't really need care? This would be separate from your insurance stuff. It's actually a little, I can't even read all of this.
So let me see if I can elucidate.
Dark Reader is on.
Yeah, so they say their new start is $119. The maintenance cost is $59 a month. They say their competitors are $99 a month, which me and Zena have looked at some of those in the past.
I don't know what out-of-pocket versus insurance means. I mean,
these are the out-of-pocket costs with no insurance. So the evaluation would be, let's see, consultation visit would be $350 to $400. That sounds accurate. Check-in visits $200 to $250. Sounds about right. Lab testing $290 to $775. Home delivered medications not included. Could be an additional $60. Depending. And then shipping not included. So the big thing they're pushing for is they can send stuff to your door.
Yeah. But notice that this does not include medications. A lot of your other health insurance plans do include that to some degree. It is kind of hard to tell what their main plans are versus what they mean by out-of-pocket or insurance, right? Is this compatible with insurance or not?
It doesn't appear to be, and it seems like, yeah, because if you have an HSA, then your HSA should be able to pay for this partially. But, also, if you look at it, okay, so starting is at $119 a month. Going from new start to maintenance, what does that look like? That's not really expressly laid out here. What do we got more? So choose your plan. So we got our plans, we got estrogen, so we got the maintenance, which is $59 a month. Medications delivered to your door, virtual annual clinical check-ins, easy annual labs, automatic messaging, automatic refills. New start, restart. That's the $119 a month. Medication delivered to your door, virtual quarterly clinical check-ins.
So if you stop their service and you come back, you're going back at the $120 per month.
Correct.
Right, and notice that $59 per month for maintenance. Okay, I mean, after about a year or so on HRT, how often are you really doing like blood work in labs? Like once you get settled, you're doing them every what? I want to say it's like what 6 or so months, maybe. Maybe you can go to yearly or something like that, or check in. Isn't it something along those lines?
Yeah. So like,
But
none of this seems all that sus initially.
You're still paying per month, where a lot of months you probably won't need any particular thing out of their service.
Wait. Stop for a second.
Right?
So, folks home delivery medication. Skip the pharmacy with folks medication delivered straight to your door. Prices here reflects folks medication costs. We are not able to call in prescriptions.
We are able to
call in prescriptions to local pharmacies. However, we cannot guarantee the pharmacy inventory, time of stock, medication costs with or without insurance, or trans or non-binary competency. So it's $0 a month if you just want titty skittles. Okay, but that's plus. If you want injectable estrogen, so injectable estrogen valerate, 106. By the way, we are not doctors. We are not giving medical information. We are simply pointing out this website. And if you want cyprinate, it's 126. Right? So weekly or every other week administered, yada yada.
Patch is 126 a month. Holy crap.
Yep. So this is what they're saying their cost is. So real quick, I want to check something.
So some of this stuff is on par, some of it's not.
Let's go to Good RX. Like
T-Matt said, that per month payment is actually really big. Yeah. No, that's super big.
Yeah, especially because let's say we're gonna go with let's go to their thing and let's choose the thing that I take. Let's be
injections. Yeah.
This is what I take. Injectable estradiol valerate. So let's get fucking going.
By the way, if you are struggling with paying for prescriptions, GoodRx actually is a really good place to use it. They do search through things.
So
they search through local pharmacies to find the prices.
My needles cost very little with my insurance, but I think they wouldn't cost that much normally.
Your needles don't cost anything. You only pay for
what they're charging you right there is near retail, right? So look at this. Like, so you have $106. That's a little under retail, but we're talking about with a coupon with your GoodRx card. You can go to Kroger, you can go to CVS, Meijer if you're in the Midwest, Walgreens, Walmart, Costco, BetterHelp.com. Oh, BetterHelp, yeah, they're weird. I will cover them on another stream. They're not related to trans care. They're different. So yeah, we're talking 5 milligrams, 20 milligrams. Okay, so what if we go up to the 40 milligram total? That's still half of what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
The only thing you're really paying for at that case is wouldn't this be like you're just paying the delivery cost? For my nose spray, the one I have that has that's lidocaine for my nasal stuff.
That's a specially compounded.
That's a specially compounded thing. It's $80 I had to buy a bottle of it. Yeah, I get screwed on this, guys. It's $80 to get that compound mixed because they cannot. It's not just a thing they have to order; they have to make it, and the shipping on that's like $10-20.
Well, it has to get shipped to us with refrigerated shipping. Okay.
Yeah. So but think about that. I'm getting for $100 my spray stuff. I only get once, maybe every couple of months. Yeah. Planned Parenthood, they'll give HRT prescriptions that you can use insurance on directly. They're good record and all over the place. True.
Yeah.
So I think this kind of makes our point. Now, these prices don't look finasteride. That looks about right. I don't know about finasteride. Spirolactone seems about right. But
these things.
But notice that the core one, price motherfucking spikes. And again, daily dose in pill form, taken multiple times a day, dissolved under tongue. So, yeah, but okay, so let's learn more. Let's go to Valerate. What does that do?
This just tells us about
pros and cons, simple, do. Yeah, so it just explains them. Average start, low dose start, max dose start.
The thing that this looks like is that it looks like it has you paying a lot per month. Okay. And also keeping you locked into their system. Right? because you have to pay every single month, what happens when you can't necessarily pay that or can't necessarily get your prescriptions? Okay.
So I want to be clear. We're not saying we know for a fact that this is a scam. We
No.
can't know that. We're not making any allegations to that.
I'm not saying it is. I think just that simply that these things are sus. If you feel like, this money is worth it for you, cool. But the thing that I keep finding is that you got to understand how to work with your insurance as well. And I'll give you some tips on that. Again, this is not official advice. This is just the shit that I end up saying to people.
Chronic illness kind of helps learn that shit, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I think it's important that you weigh your per month cost of what that actually is going to be. All right, let's say you were paying like $150 for like insurance, regular old insurance per month, okay? That insurance amount is going to cover all sorts of way more stuff, including these doctor's appointments that you would need, okay? That's not only going to put you in a place where you can get your estrogen, but also, if you need other medications for any number of issues, you could still get those things through your plan. You're already paying that amount. And it doesn't make sense to also be paying this amount. And yeah, there are definitely places where you can go for, you can go to Planned Parenthood. There's other clinics that are going to work with you on pricing a lot more than just what this would probably be able to do, right? There are a lot of options. I think it's worth looking at them. So
again, I am in a place of privilege here because I found this process very easy to get my hormones and things like that. I knew how to navigate that stuff being a clinician. Here's the thing. I'm not saying this is bad. It seems like it could be useful. But notice, again, they can't work with people under 18. They do try to have a library of stuff above. They did say that they had that. How do I cancel it? Just cancel by contacting them at the email. That's a thing. Can I pause my HRT thing? So this all looks semi-legit. I think the concern that I have with it, though, is that currently we do not sit Medicaid or Medicare, so if you are low income, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Do they accept insurance? We do not accept insurance, but they will use an HSA. Now, to be fair, you can get anything. HSA can be used for nearly anything. The restrictions on them is not that hard to go through. It's not hard to get the approval for that. But read more about our approach to pricing here. Okay, let's see. Doesn't accept insurance and is a self-pay service. Hear us out. Generally, the average cost was this. Yeah. So if you're a person who is trans and you have disposable income, this could be really good. This could be your thing. But
if you don't have a whole lot of extra income,
then this is out of your league. And unfortunately, if this does turn out to be a scam, and I'm not saying it is, I can only say that it could be, things like this or websites they mention like their competitors, by definition, could be taking advantage of desperate trans people. We talk a lot about the criteria that leads to a person being trans, and we often try to make it very clear that dysphoria is not required. But here's the thing you guys got to remember. A lot of people who tried to transition back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, we've been still going through Whipping Girl when we've had time. We had to stop because of the training. But the fact is that back then, the only people that got to actually start the transitioning process, beyond just the sexism and bigotry that was built into the system, a lot of times were the people with the worst dysphoria. This is one of the reasons why transmedicalism became the thing thrown at so many non-binary people, because that was literally the way of the world for a while. It wasn't right, it was garbage. But the problem is that because of this, I do have to wonder if that same level of desperation a lot of binary trans people have when it comes to really extreme dysphoria, if this doesn't set up some kind of predatory situation. I don't know if it does, But I am deeply reminded of Grave Robber's line from Repo the Genetic
Oh,
Opera.
absolutely.
Within every market, a sub-market grows.
Yeah.
That.
That's exactly
This
what it sounds
feels
like.
like that. It feels like there is a market being taken advantage of here, and they can say they're queer, they can say they have lots of different connections, and they really understand, and that's great. Then that's something that needs to be tested and discussed and needs to be made sure of, because it is too easy for a company to open these days. If you've ever watched The Illuminati, she goes over MLM after MLM after MLM of company after company that predatorily goes after people.
Yeah. So I think, and the thing that I've been noticing is that I get sent these, to look at by a lot of my friends who are, low income or don't necessarily have a lot of resources, and so once we go through it and we're like, okay, but could you really afford, like, is this really feasible? The answer is pretty much no, like out the gate,
Well, and remember that trans people, gay people tend to be higher income on average. Trans people aren't. We tend to be lower income. And that gets even worse with intersectional issues.
Yep.
So in a lot of ways, one of the big issues we have here is that, unfortunately, if you're a person who is fairly in poverty and you're working a job where you're making $15 an hour,
if that,
the cost for this with all of your care is going to be around $250 a month.
At least.
Upwards
of, this site was upwards of 300.
Yeah.
By the time you got everything, that was 300 or more per month. Right? The estrogen, if you wanted, injections, if you...
Yes, they could even be legit. This might not even be necessarily in their mind being predatory.
I don't even know if it's not a legit place so much as, is this really feasible for a lot of people?
But yeah, it's almost a full week of pay every month. Yeah, because $119 to start.
Yeah.
And that's just for the visits.
And again, if you stop their service, you go back to them at 119.
So what if I click?
That's what that print says.
So if I click, I can't click that. So if you go there, but then on top of that, if you start at anything other than pills, and again, they say right here, medication cost with or without insurance, trans and non-binary competency. So again, there's still a chance. The problem is shouldn't this be the cost of the drug, or is this just for them to give you the prescription? That's what I'm not really clear on. This doesn't. They say right here.
Where's the star? Scroll up to where the star goes. That's also the really hard part when you're looking through this stuff, is those stars connect back to a data point somewhere in here, and now we have to go find it. Okay, so there's 2 stars down there. There's your fine fucking print.
Yeah. Let's see. Folks, new start and restart plans are a little more expensive because we have to stick a little closer to you the first year. After a year, you'll automatically be switched back to folks. So this is per month. So $120 a month. This is before any medications. Prices apply to meeting your deductible. Average is $16.44.
I don't think they pay for labs. I think they give you this.
They probably don't pay for labs.
If lab testing included in some plans, but not in others.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
I'd have to know how those plans work. But again, $119, and then this is $106 if we're just doing injectable Valerate. And then the question comes down to it is, again, like, let me click on this. How?
This says that they could still
by charging up front without insurance, folks is able to provide medication and lab pricing with no hidden costs. Yeah. So they're saying they cover it, but they're not sure if insurance will lower it or not. So if you do have insurance, go fuck yourself. That's what they're talking about. Got it. Winning. So I think we've made our point. Guys, you have to be really careful with this shit.
Yeah, that is, and again, this is one of many. This is not the first one I've seen of these things. I've definitely gone through with people. There are other ways to go as far as this stuff. Like, you really got to weigh out how much per month. Again, we really like GoodRx. I absolutely use that. You just submit the it doesn't work. It goes instead of insurance, and you can just give them the numbers. It's absolutely free to just you give the pharmacist the group and ID number and all that, and it works really easy. It's that simple. If you really like need to look for an out-of-pocket medication there, no. GoodRx.com is really great.
The other thing I'll say is this, and this is just from the perspective of doing this stuff, is like, again, trans people are a really odd client, because the issue is that because of the internal drive we have to transition, and if that transition is medical, we are very easy to take advantage of. And the reason is that, well, yes, anyone theoretically coercively is fucked by lack of insurance, because you have to live, right? They're going to charge you at the hospital if you show up, having a heart attack or whatnot. Our situation's a little bit of a different kind of thing, because we technically, from their perspective, right, at least some medical practitioners and the like, don't have to have these things. Now, obviously, we know that's not the case, but yeah, how much are you willing to pay to keep your human rights? Tiamat has it correct. The problem is that we are still susceptible to the coercion of this, right? It's Coconut Island. It's literally, you can have it, but you got to do this for me first, right?
Yeah. And I think especially when there's any amount of dysphoria at play, it is very easy to be like, I need to make this stop. I deal with that with PMDD. Dysphoria is in the name of PMDD. There are a lot of things where when I'm in PMDD mode, like, no, I would go through great lengths to make it stop. Are they all great? No, they're not. And it does suck when you are really in that wrong body. Like, no, this stuff looks really appealing. So, I will give a few tips from my experience working with the medical system. So, working with the medical system, here's some things. The back of your insurance, if you have insurance already, the back of your card probably has their phone number on it. Get in the habit of calling that number when you are confused, when you need help, when you don't know what to do, when you're trying to switch doctors, anything. Get on the phone with them. I know it's a pain in the ass, and just talk to them and, take notes on what they tell you, okay? That can always help you figure out what to do next or how to get something done. Finding doctors, right? If you know of any LGBT organizations in your area, definitely reach out to them. See who knows what doctors do what. Okay, there might be people in your area that you're not aware of. A lot of PCPs can just do hormones. That's absolutely something they can be trained on. And then also the benefit there is that your PCP could manage other, health issues with you as well, right? I think that's the big thing that I see with, this plan just for hormones, is that a lot of us probably do have other issues that we need to talk to our doctors about, and you're still going to have to pay for those separate. So you can go through also universities. If you have any university hospitals in your area or any big systems like that, they tend to have gender services. See if you can get in touch with them. That's another way. We've talked about Planned Parenthood already, and there's also a few other places that have, clinics around the country that also do hormones as well. They tend to do an informed consent model, but a lot of those places are very willing to work with you and have a very good reputation, for treating people well and being able to do, proper care. Is there anything else in there you think, or?
No, I think those are all really solid points.
Yeah.
I also just think the thing is that if you have a friend that's like a therapist like me, I honestly think like asking them questions about the best course of action. I think one of the things that really screws over a lot of trans people is they just don't know where to start or how to do this stuff. If you know someone who has these skills, ask them. The other thing is like, check out Discord servers. Check out people that our Discord server is full of clinicians. If one of us doesn't know something, probably one of us does. Yeah. So if you can find people who can answer your questions, it's really useful. The other thing is look for things in your area. One of the things I was really deeply helped with was one of the universities has a comprehensive gender services clinic that's really good about these things. And I strongly recommend looking for those types of things because they usually have a huge database of different services and things to go with, and they can help explain the process.
And they've got, that place has full documentation to send you any which way, depending on what you want as far as surgery, hormones, they'll sort you accordingly.
So Victor asked, what do we do about body hair and facial hair? So here's the options, unfortunately. You can either shave, you can wax, you could nair the fuck out of it, though I don't recommend it. The more permanent or semi-permanent solutions include either laser, which I get. You'll notice the lack of beard shadow or anything, right? That shit is not cheap and does hurt. And electrolysis. Now, Tiamat is correct. Some places and some insurances will cover electrolysis. I also know that if you find someone who's gender affirming, there are people who will absolutely work with you on prices. I pay a very clear flat rate for the amount of stuff I've gotten, and it's pretty helpful. My recommendation to trans girls, especially who are newly transitioning, is if you are looking to get hair removal done and you are, short on a budget, I would find a place that's gender affirming, see if they have a payment plan, and I would look into doing either if they have a full body plan, just get that, or if it really is money is an issue, I would look into doing GoFundMe. And the other thing I would consider is if you have to piecemeal it, choose the stuff that's really bothering you worst. To me, the big thing that bothers most trans women is anything on their face or neck. Right? Then Natalie, what I would say is, and I can't say this for sure, but maybe talk to your doctor about that and see if they can't talk to the insurance and talk about that being a goal. Because it takes longer than just one laser session.
Yep.
Generally speaking, to make it so most of the hair doesn't keep coming back, is around I want to say 6 times. No, it's 6 times.
Yeah.
Niana, I'm not clear why that is. I haven't heard that, but go off. Yeah, it's more expression per session. But I also think full body with electrolysis, it doesn't feel good. Having lasers bombarding your genitals is not the most fun thing, but it really does work. I mean, you can ask Zena about the effects. The only places I really haven't had done on me are my tattoos, because you can't do tattoos. So if you have a lot of tattoos on your body, that's another thing to consider.
Yeah. So this is somewhat of an aside. The other thing that I thought about too that we've also made use of is that people in our state collect a database of trans-friendly providers. That can be really helpful to look at, and providers for any kinds of services, hair salons, doctors, all of that. Try talking to your friends, see who they go to.
I'll try to post some. Sorry to interrupt. I just remembered. I'll try to post some links for stream. There is some databases I have, the ones that you can type into. They're not great. They're a little rudimentary, but some of them do really have things in them that are do tend to have the ability to search for things like surgeons and stuff like that. Niana, so
we probably need to save laser stuff for later. Yeah, that's really beside the point today.
We're gonna end this here. I will just say, Niana, the one thing to say to that is it actually has to do with more the darkening of the hair and how dark the hair is, rather than specifically that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I was gonna say is that on the note of surgeries, obviously a lot of surgeons cannot really share, pictures of their past, things that they have done. Even if somebody consented to it, they couldn't do it because of HIPAA. So a lot of ways that people have gotten around this is by having, small Facebook groups.
r/trans surgeries.
Or subreddits, where people can talk about different surgeons and post their own pictures, because you can obviously post pictures of yourself. And that's a great way to do your research when you're looking for a surgeon. And that was something that I learned. They did a pre-surgery, consultation in my area with the surgeon, so you could go talk to them and everything before you even got there. And that's something that they noted, was they were like, we don't really have a good answer for this, but, our clients created their own answers. So that would also be a good resource, too, if you are looking at that stuff. So, yeah, I think that's a lot of the big stuff that I tell people is just try to plan this stuff out, write down, take notes, look at things per month, right? Compare that to your other insurance. If you're really having a hard time figuring out how to talk to insurance and doctors, try reaching out to any advocates in your area, any friends that you have, or people in your life who are good at kind of navigating this stuff. Definitely reach out and ask for help when you need it. So. All
right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transcrotherapist. For as low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.